Go into a non-overlay game, starting game number 1 in this best of 3 series between Mr. Bramboy and Cramper for the round of 64. Spain against Brits on ESOC Adirondacks. Round of 64 stakes are slightly higher than 128, round of 128, and from the looks of it, well, I think it's okay. Cramper does have his coin mine slightly further away from his town center compared to Bramboy. Well, Bramboy's got one over here in front. It should be fine. This one's fairly defensive anyway. Ready for Woodstart OP. So if you were watching this from a VOD in the future, then there was actually a previous game in which Bramboy still had the UI installed, so he had to uninstall that and now we've rehosted, which is just as well because I forgot to take down the overlay. The overlay is a huge source of annoyance. But looking at the treasures, 40 XP, 50 coin. 50 coin going to help Bramboy if he does decide to go do an FF in general. You do need coin to age up. Richard Hudson over here, the explorer for Cramper, going to come across the native scout treasure. He will likely have crack shot, and that's going to be a free native scout for him. Nope, looks like he did use crack shot on something earlier on, so he will just be meleeing this. What did he actually use crack shot on? He used crack shot on a Kogar, it seems, for 40 XP or whatever it was. And that's an unusual choice because, well, normally when you save your crack shot for one of the shipments, one of the treasures which is harder to get in general, even this 90 food treasure, you can see that he wouldn't have lost this much HP in the Explorer, almost up to 50% HP if he still had crack shot. That just gone down, bang. Turning on the fog, since now both players will have a lot of the map scouted, or at least Mr. Bramboy does. Red just kind of taking this path over here. Though since he does have this scout, then either way, treasure contention, and looks like Bramboy going to steal it. Plus he does have Savage, the war dog, going to do a bit of damage to Mr. Richard Hudson. Richard Hudson going to run away, and Bramboy in hot pursuit. I don't know if he'll be able to kill the explorer. Well, judging from Richard Hudson's scouting, well, from where he's sending the explorer, this could be dangerous for him. Though then again, he will be able to deny the XP if he ever needs to because there's an 80 food treasure. At the same time, he has shown Bramboy that there is an 80 food treasure. So we'll see if he puts any villagers in the town center just to kill the war dog. Does not look like that's going to be the case. So 45 XP swing for Mr. Bramboy, most likely. Well, once the explorer gets another shot off over here, it will be 45 XP for him. And likely he'll be going straight for the 80 food treasure. Mr. Bramboy's native scout seeing some very nice treasures for him in the southern half of the map. 80 XP plus 60 food, both are very helpful for Spain because, as you know, Spain's bonus is each shipment costs less XP. So I believe, I don't know the exacts, but the first shipment costs, so generally the first shipment for all civilizations costs 300 XP, and you can see over here that the first shipment for Mr. Bramboy was at 300. I mean, the second shipment for Mr. Bramboy needed about 300 XP, which means that his first shipment was considerably less, since the amount of XP needed for each shipment does grow over time. So, for example, your 10th shipment would cost a lot more XP than your first shipment. 60 food can be pretty nice for Mr. Bramboy. You can see Cramper aging up faster though, either way. 50% of the way aged up compared to 26% for Mr. Bramboy. And Mr. Bramboy chopping a lot of wood here, which is an interesting thing to note. He did just now switch all his villas off from wood. This does indicate to me that he's going to be going for a trading post, and possibly just a straight FF, building a trading post just to supplement his XP income. Did overchop by 29 wood, but that should be okay since he did get quite a few food treasures to make up for it. Both players do have a shipment stacked. Well, you can see how Mr. Bramboy, as a result of being Spain as well as getting all these XP treasures and killing the Explorer, he's almost on his way to a second one as well. He is aging up with the Governor, which does grant a outpost, and we'll have to see whether he decides to place this defensively or aggressively. Usually if you want to place it aggressively, then you want to put it somewhere where your opponent's not going to be able to scout it and siege it down. Oh no, that's the Governor for the Brits, but British player, but Mr. Bramboy nonetheless also aging up with the Governor. So both aging up with the Governor, and Cramper actually putting down a barracks over here. So going to stay age 2 for a while, and that's something you would expect from the Brit player. British in general do not have a fast age of options, so their semi-FF or FF, meaning fast fortress, options are fairly limited. They do tend to stay age 2, mass up a bit of an eco, maybe do a bit of pressure with musketeers. Outpost coming down over here, which is fairly odd location to me. It doesn't actually protect his town center, though it does protect the trading post, which is probably what you had in mind, just having the outpost there in order to stave off any small musketeers just sieging, small groups of musketeers or pikemen just sieging down the trading post for free. Plus he can pop Minutemen if he needs to. Well, that is the only purpose that serves over here. Not going to be very helpful outside of that, especially from protecting from raids rather. So Bramboy is going up for the straight FF option. Have a quick look at the shipments sent. 3 vills, 700 coin, straight FF, 3 vills, 700 wood, both fairly standard build orders from both players. 5 musketeers coming in over here, and 11 in the town center. He's going to 2-shot them. See if he gets a second villager. I mean a first villager down now. Bramboy being fairly cautious over here, putting down villagers, putting villagers in the town center before any of them can die. And basically 3 musketeers going down and no villagers dead. It looks like he might. No, I was wondering if he was going to kill the Explorer as well with town center fire, but no, villagers going to pop out of the town center. It might have been worth it for him to just keep villagers in the town center and kill the Explorer. You just have needed 2 more shots from the town center with 10 villagers in it. And that would have been a 45 XP swing, plus he'd have been able to pick up the 40 wood by himself. For himself, rather. Bramboy 40% of the way aged up. And Cramper adding in a stable over here. Applying a bit of pressure, and Mr. Bramboy going to be targeting the Explorer, as he rightfully should be in this situation. 45 XP, very nice, and he's already on his way, 50% on his way to his 5th shipment. So he's been able to squeeze in a lot of shipments in age 2 just because of how much XP he's been getting in general. First villager does die for Mr. Bramboy. Unlucky for him being, well, not noticing how low that villager was in HP wise. He will have a shipment by the time he's aged up though. Despite sending 3 shipments in age 2. Second villager dying for Mr. Bramboy, and a few more musketeers getting out. He does have enough coin for a Minuteman pop, which I do expect him to be doing over here as soon as his 4 Hussars or whatever pops out. It is the scout, so it will be 4 Hussars, and 4 Hussars do pop out, and he hasn't called Minutemen actually. It's something he should be doing. Looks like he's instead preferring to send out his villagers and tank a bit. Possibly saving Minutemen for later on when he might need it. 4 Hussars coming in. And no villagers actually going down just yet. Possibly another villager going down here. We'll see how the pathing works, but no. Yeah, alright, so musketeers did come in time to kill that. So 3 villagers have been killed by Red's pressure in age 2. And Bramboy, well, he had 700 wood shipped, but he didn't actually gather. Oh, well, he did gather it, and he's got a secret barracks over here actually. Interesting. So Cramper, having pushed in and seen only 1 house and no military production facilities, must be wondering what Mr. Bramboy is up to. Of course, he did also see that 700 wood was still on the floor, so, or at least the big wood crate was still on the floor. So, Possibly a bit of psychological warfare going on here. Though in general, if you are going to be under a lot of pressure, then maybe it's a good idea to place a few houses at the side, as Ramboy has done. This house is going to go down for free, partially unbuilt. Will go down fairly fast. 6 musketeers coming in. So this is kind of timing that Cramper is trying to make over here. Lots of musketeers, lots of hussar. Rodolero is an interesting choice. And he does still have the ability to call Minutemen, but he does not have a market. So if he did not have enough coin, then that won't be an option over here. Looks like he did not have enough coin for that. And this does not look very good for Mr. Bramboy, though of course looking very good for the British player. Musketeer and Hussar doing very well. Rodolero's not being very effective in defending the skirmishers from these Hussars, and GG has been called. So that brings the score up to 1-0 in favor of Cramper. Strange choice of shipment. If I were Mr. Bramboy in this situation, I'd probably have just kept on hiding my army for a bit longer. I got a market up as well with that 100 wood they stacked, and shipped any shipments, importantly, to this outpost down here. Because at this point in time, he didn't really have the right composition to engage. And when you can't engage, there's two things you do. Either you hide your army or you use your army to raid. Of course, you can't really raid your Rodoleros or anything like that, but hey. He just wasn't able to spend his resources. Typically, a standard Spain FF gets out at least 5 musketeers in transition, but for some reason, maybe he was just a bit slow in getting that barracks up because of the pressure. Didn't get that 700 wood gathered in time. Either way, going to move on to game number 2 in this best of 3 for the round of 64. ESO has gone down, but I do expect that he will be back up by the time I log in. Yeah. Oh. Okay. All right. I'll leave them to decide what the next map is, because I can't remember. Cascade Range. Okay, ESOC Cascade Range. I believe it was made by Ricky Kipu. No, wait, Cascade Range is... No, this is made by Gaia. I was thinking about the other one where you have the cliffs in between, but no, Cascade Range is low resource map where no trading posts. Well, you see once the game actually starts. But. So India will be Mr. Bramboy's choice over here versus Russia. Interesting choice of civilization. Historically, India has done quite well. Just because they do manage to get an Agra fort and get map control, and it can be pretty tough for Russia to deal with that because their units don't really have that much siege. Plus the area damage from the fort when it attacks. It can do quite a lot of damage to your... Well, first of all, I should note UI not working for some reason. Is I'm going to try this one more time, and the UI has somehow bugged and someone messed up copy pasting the stuff here, and that didn't have to cost without the UI. Okay, so may have to release a hot bug fix, well, a patch for this map, maybe 2.21 in the future. Well, either way, I don't claim any responsibility for what happened here. Someone else did it. But if the UI still does not work, then I will be casting this UI-less. Shout back to the days of 2005 all the way up until 2013, I suppose, when there was no advanced UI technology. Nope. Seems like the UI works this time. Not sure what happened earlier on, but regardless, okay. So, Cramper going to be playing the Russian civilization versus Mr. Bramboy playing as the Indian civilization. It does look like it was a coin start, so coin start possibly the worst possible start for India. I mean, if it was wood, then you could probably 10-10 or something. If it was food, you can still age up faster. But coin, India doesn't really use that coin at all. Plus, you don't have an early market start typically. Though he is going to be able to get some treasures to make up for it. 50 food over here, and possibly he will scout the 50 food over here as well, given the line of sight from the trading post. Nope, looks like the line of sight revealer was not enough to reveal that. Though he might be going in the right direction. There looks to be a treasure contention over here. 50 food over here as well. And Ramboy being a bit too slow to switch that. Could have tried to go for the stomp, but either way, going to get snared over here. And he might lose that explorer because Indian monk does get snared, and unless he can get a lucky stomp off over here, or use his second monk to draw this monk away, will likely lose his explorer. The monk rather. Other than that, note that Mr. Bramboy has not put any villagers on wood, so he is going for what is essentially a 9-10 age up villager going forward. So he will be planning to put the aggro down in the center of the map. 40 wood there for I don't raid, Mr. Cramper. So Russian explorer, going to be pretty nice if he does want to get his blockhouse up earlier. 50 food over here is going to get scouted by Mr. Bramboy. Pretty decent. If he does get it up before he reaches 700 and well, before he reaches 800 food, then that is going to speed up his age up. And looks like it will. Maybe by a few seconds or something like that, but pretty decent. So Agrafort going to go down here in the center of the map, which does control quite a bit. Well, it gives a lot of line of sight, and this if Cramper wants to send in any units to raid or anything, then he's going to have to go in through the sides of the map, because you don't really want to be walking past an Agrafort which is dealing constant damage. Mr. Brumber at 180 coin and no market or anything of the sort to actually use it. Though he will be able to, of course, build SEPA or anything with 180 coin. Though for the time being, that 180 coin could be practically 0 coin, just because it's not being used. Spend your resources. I mean, I think this situation I might have gone for a market and traded, but he does need the house actually, so never mind that. He needed the house ASAP, plus he needed villagers in queue ASAP, so market not viable over here, because you would need a few extra seconds to build that market, plus trade and build that house. 30 coin over here, so he's going to have 210 coin over here. And interesting play over here by Cramper. He's not in the Yumian Wolf clan, but he is in TPG Pro. I have no idea what that stands for, but regardless of that fact, he is going to be walling up the center of the map. And that's going to potentially be annoying for Rambo to deal with if he does not block block this second wall from coming up. Looks like he has managed to successfully block that wall. And no full wall, but there is still going to be line of sight. You can see how the Indian monk's area damage is preventing the wall from actually going up. One thing to note was that in the past, that was a huge issue for the Sioux Explorer against Portuguese, because you could basically deny the town center from going up just because of how the area damage would also destroy the foundation. Either way, defensive blockhouse over here for Cramper. Unusual location because it's not actually close to the gold mine or anything. I suppose it's forward, which will give him line of sight. You can kind of see how he'll have full line of sight of anything coming in through this gap. Either way, lots of sepoy coming in, and this is how India's going to play here. 12 sepoy, so he did get out a full batch of 5 sepoy, ship 5 sepoy, and also have 2 sepoy from the age up. So what's he going to go for? No villagers going to die just yet. He might be able to get these 3 villagers if he does scout that, but no. 5 Cossacks coming out first, and going to have to see what's in queue over here. 10 Strelets, so... and Minutemen pop, so... defending this fairly well, I think, is the Russian player. Though sepoy are still pretty strong, so he might be able to get out relatively unscathed. Nope, lots of them going down. He's just getting snared by these over here. So are unfortunately sieging down the house over here. They could be doing lots of damage. There he does finally realize it. I think Russia has actually held this fairly well. So there's only 2 left. Cossacks over there. Minutemen still alive. And yeah, actually that is GG. Bramboy did go all in, but Russia successfully held. And actually there's going to be a very fast game ending at 6 minutes. Score in favor of Cramper 2-0, and that is actually the end of the series because this is a best of 3. So it was well played by Cramper over here. Maybe Bramboy feeling a bit salty over here, I don't know. But he is going to go watch a movie or something instead. Ah well. But well played by Cramper to actually defend that early pressure. He played it smartly. Let's say 5 Cossacks, Minutemen pop, and Strelets. That's probably a very good counter to just pure and sepoy rush. Though we do also have to note that this was a 9-10 and not a 10-10 from India because of how it was a coin start, and so it was considerably slower than what a standard 10-10 India 12 sepoy rush would have been like. But well played by Cramper, and he will advance to the round of 32. I'm just going to check if there's actually anything else planned, but I don't think there is. Yeah, so it doesn't seem like there's any more series planned, so that was the last series for today that I'll be casting. So thanks for watching. This is still only the round of 64, so plenty of new content for you to watch in the future for this autumn tournament. Alright, so I'll be ending the stream there. So game going to be 2-0 in favor of Cramper. Thanks for watching everyone, and see you next time.